There is no music in case you think the sound is not working on your feed. I just thought I'd let everyone know
There's music in my head.
Dana's happily bobbing away here.
Yes, quite.
We're going through a music update.
I'm updating my computer, and I thought it would be done in time, and it isn't, so that's too bad. But, you know, I'm imagining some cute little Quinn piece in my head, so there you go. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, thank you for asking. How are you?
I'm fine too, thanks. Let's address yesterday. Thanks so much for your lovely support. I appreciated that. We appreciated that. Because even though I tend to feel things a little more deeply, or at least I express them a little more deeply than Maz does, he felt bad too. So thank you for that. And thank you for letting us work through it a little bit on Daily Dose. But Maz found this. We told you yesterday that Maz had found this thing that we really liked. I am in a better mood today, Sandy. You know, does anybody remember in the 80s? We're going to come back to this, but in the 80s, 1980s, Shelley Duvall did a series of fairy tales, and she did them with pretty famous people. And she did Cinderella, and the prince was played by Matthew Broderick, and Cinderella was played by Jennifer Beals, who was a huge star at the time because of because of Flashdance. But the stepmother was played by the principal from the movie Grease. And they come home from Cinderella's father's funeral, and it's like 4 seconds after they come home, and the stepmother says, well, enough gloom and doom for one day, and moves on. I have decided, because I love that, we use that all the time. It was kind of, and it's not quite done, because we use it all the time at my house because it's funny. I have decided, enough gloom and doom for one day. It happened, it came, it went, let's move on. So thanks for that. Back to the topic at hand, Dr. Mary. Dr. Mary found this meme yesterday and showed it to me, and we both really liked it. Really, really. So, do you want to read it?
Okay. It's entitled My Living Will. Last night, my kids and I were sitting in the living room, and I said to them, I never want to live in a vegetative state dependent on some machine and fluids from a bottle. If that ever happens, just pull the plug. They got up, unplugged the computer, and threw away my wine.
See you tomorrow. No, just kidding.
And see.
I love that.
I think it's really good.
I love it. I wouldn't care that much about it if it wasn't called My Living Will. But so many of us bother to prepare for life after we've died. For heaven's sakes, my family is texting left, right, and center, and it's showing up on my screen. It's irritating. Maybe people could have conversations before 8:30 or after 8:45.
See, I got dragged into... Here's my worst experience of being dragged down a rabbit hole on Facebook.
Is it related to this?
It is.
Oh, excellent.
It's the whole point about unplugging your computer. I was doing some work, and I thought, oh, God, enough of this. What's happened to Netflix? And I got dragged into 20 things, speaking of which, 20 things you didn't know about Grease.
Oh.
So now I know there is a distinct possibility that entire musical was based on the fact that she drowned and was dying.
No, was dead.
And did. She was Australian. She did.
She's still Australian.
She was did. Either she did or she didn't. No, she's did.
Dr. Mary,
Yes.
if people don't watch Flight of the Conchords, that means nothing to them, and also they were Australian. Mother, please, could you and the boys stop texting? Just for a little bit of time.
So it does happen. You do get dragged into some complete nonsense. So now I know that the whole Grease musical thing could have been her dying.
Oh my gosh, we're totally off the rails. I'm sorry. This is 2 rough days. Let's go back to the subject at hand.
We are.
No, that was way off the beaten path.
Yeah, see, unplug the computer.
I know. So, I'm going to read it again. It's been a while. Last night, my kids and I were sitting in the living room, and I said to them, I never want to live in a vegetative state, dependent on some machine and fluids from a bottle. If that ever happens, just pull the plug. They got up, unplugged the computer, and threw out my wine. So, to go back to the subject at hand. So many of us spend time and money putting together wills for after we've died, which is a good thing to do. But what are you doing while you're living? How are you investing your time and your resources? Are you giving it to stupid 20 things you never knew about Greece? And believe me, I'm not judging Dr. Mary. This morning, I watched Betty White sing Hello Morgan to Morgan Freeman because he was the celebrated actor at the AFI Awards like 10 years ago. That showed
worse.
up.
That is worse.
No, it's not worse. It was actually really charming. I didn't realize that Morgan Freeman had been the head waiter in the all-black production of Hello Dolly on Broadway that Pearl Bailey starred in. But really, was that a good use of my time? I'm not totally sure that it was. Although I'm talking about it, so I did find some value in it. Anyway, we all have a tendency to give away time and give it away freely to stupid things. Stupid wastes of time. And then the alcohol, I shared a bottle of wine last night with a really good friend. She's vaccinated. I've had COVID, so we felt safe together. And it was spectacular. And it kind of restored my will to live, actually.
Actually.
Not that you haven't done
I know
that.
exactly what you mean.
And I'm saying that very loosely. I'm not making fun of people who are truly depressed. But I have, kind of been in a slump. So I'm also not saying you should never have anything to drink. We would have had as good a time without wine, but it was lovely to have wine and cheese at Luna. So it's not about never doing it. It's about being conscious of it. Why would we bother to be conscious about where our things and our assets go when we're not even here to enjoy them, but throw away all kinds of time and assets today in our present living time, which is brief.
There's another subtext to this, is that you have to be careful what you become dependent on, or another word for that is what you're addicted to. It's very easy to become addicted to a computer. It's actually quite addictive. I mean, I drink an awful lot of weak instant coffee. And I think mostly because I'm cold.
That doesn't explain your coffee consumption in July. But
No, but yeah, it's just weird. So it's important to be mindful about what you're doing. It's easy to slip, and I think this covered a lot of bases. It does cover how easy it is to have a ritual that actually could become or could mask an addiction. Unplug the computer, throw away the wine. That's probably what they do every day when they get home from work, and it becomes such a habit you don't even realize you're doing it.
At the end of the day, we are the composite of the little moments of our lives. So if the bulk of the moments of your lives are spent in mindlessly scrolling, which many of mine are, and mindlessly drinking, that's a place to stop and consider and just become mindful. Again, it's not about all or nothing. It's about being conscious and choosing where you want to give your time and energy. So, I don't know. I really liked it.
I thought I liked it
love
too.
the idea of a living will. Most of us won't need that. Most of us will not find ourselves in a vegetative state, and someone else needs to decide if we will continue through intubation to be alive or if a plug will be pulled and we no longer exist. That's not going to be the case. So put at least as much time into your present as you're putting into an unlikely, not impossible, but an unlikely future.
You are putting your life on hold by being stuck in front of a computer screen when you don't have to.
Yes, absolutely. So, have an excellent day. Stay warm. Join us tomorrow at 8:30 to hear from Thad Stafford.
Oh, I'm looking forward to talking to Thad again.
Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be great to hear his story and to connect with him and you. So, have a great day.
Have a good day.
Stay warm. Bye.
See you tomorrow.